Oh, greetings, yachties. Look who I found. Eh? Haven't you got a home, bro? Eh? No home.
Yeah.
Eh? No, seriously, we're down at the Volvo Village and we have this famous yachty with us. How are you, Kurt?
Oh, good, thanks.
Welcome to the City of Sales.
Thank you.
Now, I got a little question for you.
Yeah.
Edwin's 15 years old, and there's a lot of young people out there looking at the Volvo race and the America's Cup and the Extreme 40 regattas and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
What do they got to do to put on their CV to get them on the right path to be considered as an option?
Well,
is it luck or is it
no,
can it be
I don't
designed?
think it's luck. I think I'm probably disagreeing with a lot of people, so I'm going to be a bit controversial on it because I think ultimately what makes the biggest difference is how much you want it, and you have to want it a lot.
Passion.
You have to be passionate, but you have to not give up because it isn't easy regardless of what you have on your CV. You know, we have a guy in this race, a Danish guy, Martin Kirketer, and he is on the shore crew on Sanya. And this is his second race he's trying to do. And he's only on the shore crew, only. He has an Olympic gold medal in 49er from Beijing. I mean, he's a rock star, he said. And he's still, and it's funny because people ask, why the hell are you on the shore crew? You have an Olympic gold medal. And he says, because I'm going to do the Volvo and I'm not giving up. And I'm sure he's going to do the next race. And what it tells you is a bit that it's not the CV matters. Yeah, it matters what you have done and what you haven't done. But in the end, it's quite a coincidence who ends up doing this race or not, because it's just being at the right place at the right time with the right guys, talking to them, and then they'll let you have a chance. And if you look at some of the guys who do the Volvo Ocean race today and have experience offshore, they may not have the most impressive CV in the world, a lot of them, but they were fighting bloody hard to get there. And it's that fighting spirit that makes you a good Volvo sailor. Because the Volvo Ocean race is such a long event and it's such a hard event compared to doing Olympics. I mean, it's not incomparable. I mean, the guys are coming here now for 5,500 miles. Been fighting. I mean, they're fighting 24/7 for every single little inch they can gain and lose. And some of them have had a dreadful last 3 weeks. I'm sure you're going to ask Brad Jackson or Tony Metter on Puma. They started this race to win it, and they've been, fighting from behind this whole last 3-4 weeks.
When they were parked in that hole in the import race, the start of this leg, that was just...
It's terrible, and then they're going to get 1 week here in Auckland, and then they're down in the Southern Ocean, and they're on one of the longest legs, going to Brazil. And to work in those circumstances, what matters is your willpower and how much you want this, and what a fighter you are. So if you're a fighter and you don't give up, you will make it. And that's the only advice, it's the best advice I think I can give to young sailors like yourself, is that don't give up. Just don't give up. Just decide it for yourself that you are going to do this race, and you will do it.
A lot of them have said that they need to bring another skill. They need to be either a sailmaker or a boat builder or a medic.
Yeah, it's a quick fix that on the boat in this race you need a certain set of skills, and if you manage to get yourself some of those skills, which are easy to get, like you can become a medic. You go do first aid courses, train with paramedics here in Auckland and become really good at that. You can learn sailmaking skills, engineering skills, and you tick some of those boxes, you get a jump start on the other guys who don't have it. Even with those boxes ticked, you still have to want it and you still have to fight for it. But getting some of those skills that are outside sailing, it's definitely going to help you. It's definitely going to help you.
And then 89, 90, when Peter went round on Steinlager, there were 23 starters. Today and last race, way less than 10. Do you think the elite, the cream, is rising to the top versus 23? Crichton's naturally went round with a roast dinner.
Yeah.
These guys.
I think it's a lot of things have changed. So one thing is that it's probably harder to win the race today, even though it's only 6 boats, than it was in '89. With all credits to Peter and Steinlager, but it wasn't. I mean, this time around there's 5 boats that, if any of the 5 best boats, or even Sanya sometimes, but the 5 best boats makes one mistake, any one of the boats behind them are going to jump ahead of them. Anyone. While in '89, '90, in the races after when I started as well, there was always 2 boats or 3 boats that were really the top, but then it was a big gap. to the next, and these two could make quite a lot of mistakes and still win it. So I think that's part of it. So that when it becomes so competitive and also expensive to do it, the sponsors only want to win. So the sponsors only want to sponsor teams that can win. And unfortunately only one will. But and at the same time now we've been hit a bit by the crisis in Europe in particular, so it was very hard in the run-up to this event with the sponsorship market. So we're actually quite pleased that we have 6 fully funded and strongly funded teams. But I think in the next race we are aiming now at dramatically reducing the cost even further for the teams to have a chance to have more teams in the race, and also to open up the doors a bit to the younger sailors, and let it be more accessible to those who are not the best of the best. The best of the best will still be there. And we've made a lot of changes in the race to achieve that. So we started with the under 30 rule, which we didn't have in the past. We increased that this race from 2 to 3 sailors. And you wouldn't be surprised if you'll see a further increase in the next race. That is something that definitely works. And I think that the age limit should be, my personal view is the age limit should be even lower than 30.
Lower than 30?
Yeah, no, I think 30. You're not a kid when you're 30.
No.
You know,
but it's not a sport. It's not an adventure for kids either. You know, you need.
No, it isn't. It isn't. But I think that what we like to see fresh blood coming into the race all the time, because it makes the race bigger and it creates a better, more sustainable future for us. And if you don't have these kind of rules today, the top guys in the world in sailing today, because sailing is a sport you can stay competitive for quite a few years. They block the road for the young guys too, because the boats are not getting bigger in the amount of crew, they're getting smaller. Look at the America's Cup too, there's a lot less people on the new America's Cup boats, and there's less people on the Volvo boats, so it's harder for the young guys to get in. And those guys who are my age, you know, Stu Van Tijens and Brad and all these guys, Tony, it's very hard to jump them, you know. They are still the best guys out there.
They're there for a reason.
They're there for a reason, they're very good, but it works really well. I must say that the under 30 concept we started has been very successful. In the last race we did a lot of statistics on the crew, and none of the under 30 sailors were replaced. None of them. And that doesn't mean everything, but you know, this race is hard, so if you don't win, you quite often see some replacements of crew. Something has to change. It's like playing rugby or anything. And the under 30 guys were never changed. And we had a special prize in the end of the race in Russia last time when we finished, which was awarded to the best nominated under 30 sailor in the race. And I asked all the skippers to nominate their sailors and why they thought that the under 30 guys were best. And it was remarkable how those nominations were. I mean, almost all the skippers wrote that the guys that came in through that program became the best guys on the boat. Almost all of them. And that's very important. And I think we need to, you know, when Peter Blake went around, or Grant went around on Endeavour, New Zealand Endeavour, that was my first race. And a lot of the sailors you see here today were given the opportunity by Grant in that race. Mike Sanderson, Brad Jackson, I mean, all of them were on board that boat, and those days they were 24. You know? And that gave them the start, and look where they are today. But someone gave them that start, and that was easier those days when there was 17, 18, 19 crew on a maxi catch, and we were 12, 14 boats in the race. Today it's much harder, so you need to have those programs.
Fantastic. Hey, good luck.
Thank you.
Fantastic,
Good luck to you.
fantastic event.
Thank you.
Look forward to it in 4 years' time.
Yeah.
And in 8.
3 years. 3 years.
Oh, 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah. And the next one, and the next one, and the next one.
Yeah.
Keep coming back here.
Yeah, we'll hope to see these guys there too.
Yeah, well, that's
Love
his
to be there, right?
that's his dream. That and the Jules Verne.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well done, mate.
Thank you.
We'll see you on the water.
See ya.
Excellent. Cool.